My name is Adero Reiser Cobb, and I am the President and CEO here at Keystone Community Services. Woo. Yes! I want to welcome our special guest, and we have Mayor Melvin Carter that is here to our left. We have Councilmember Mitra Jalali, who will be here momentarily. Yes, and we have Senator Sandy Pappas, well, there you are. We have Representative Lee Finke. Yes, and then the Ramsey County Commissioner, Rena Moran, is right here. And I want to recognize our Keystone CEO Emeritus, Mary McEwen. I also want to give a special mention to Senator Aaron Murphy, who was unable to be with us today. And I also want to give mention and a hello to Commissioner Tom Peterson, who is here as well. Thank you. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you. We couldn't be here in this momentous moment and this day without you, every one of you. When we began this process of the Opening the Doors food security campaign, we expected some twists and some turns. Anyone who has worked on a capital campaign will tell you to expect the unexpected, warn you that you will get discouraged, and remind you that you will have lovely surprises and you'll have some not so lovely surprises. But no one will ever say that it wasn't worth it. We know it's worth it because we are here and we're standing here today celebrating this significant moment, this significant investment in our community. One that will ensure that Keystone has the capacity to support more than 50,000 people in Ramsey County every year. Yes, so that will be supporting with food, emergency assistance, and connections to resources. That's what this building is going to be helping with. This building has been designed with a thoughtful approach to allow Keystone to deliver our mission. This center will become a hub for the community, engagement, and our neighbors to help neighbors, and everyone here is welcome. You may already know that Keystone Community Services is the largest food shelf provider in St. Paul and Ramsey County. But did you know that 1/3 of Minnesotans report some level of food insecurity? That is 1 in 3 of our neighbors. That's our friends, our colleagues, and people in our communities that are struggling to have enough food. Every day, more and more neighbors are turning to Keystone for support. Every day at Keystone, we are reminded how vital this new community food center will be. But then they don't tell you the stories behind your neighbors and friends, your colleagues and employees who volunteer in Keystone's programs, who are participants in our food programs. Keystone supports our neighbors of all ages and demographics from all corners of St. Paul, Ramsey County, and the East Metro area. As a resounding theme, our volunteers and our participants hear over and over again that Keystone is a safety net. At Keystone, people are treated with dignity and respect. This center will help us expand to deepen and deliver on the promise to support our neighbors. A big thank you to our project partners, NTH for the ongoing project support and project management. Where are you? Woo! Right over there. So that's NTH. I did see Formula. There's James Garrett and the Formula crew. There are architects. I want to give mention to Flannery Construction. They are our contractor. I know I saw Jamie representing our crew. So she is here. And thank you to Fox Advancement and Hilden Advocacy and Law for their continued support in the strategy and development work that in developing this campaign. I am so glad that people can come together in celebration for this project. Leaders from the city, county, state are all represented here today. We have community leaders and business leaders that are here. We have funders, we have donors, we have board members, we have volunteers, all that are represented. Our staff are working creatively to make this campaign and building a success. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for every word of encouragement, every act of advocacy, every dollar given, every time you help to lift our mission and share the importance of this project. And maybe most importantly, thank you for believing in us, for believing in our vision for this corner of the Midway Corridor. You made this milestone possible. This was not something that Keystone could do alone. We needed every one of you to help us get there. And it's here, and it's great to see and be in this moment. Together we can and we will open the doors to ensure everyone has food on their tables. Yes. This is a tremendous moment. It's a very proud moment, and so I'm glad to be here to share that. Now, we're going to move on, and we have some amazing speakers here today. We have guest speakers, and I'd like to share, they like to share their excitement of this project and of our new center. And first up, we have our very own St. Paul Mayor, Melvin Carter. Come on up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do we have an incredible leader or what? Well, good afternoon. My name is Melvin Carter, and I am just pleased and privileged to be the mayor of this incredible city. And the thing that makes me most proud of our community, people ask me every day, what do I love most about St. Paul? And it's always an easy question. The answer is the people here. The answer is that I love the people who live in this community. I get a chance every day. I ask somebody, why are you raising your children? Like, there's nothing more important than you can decide than where to raise your children. Why are you raising your child here? Why did you choose this place to start your business or to launch your career? And it's always incredible to me. It's always amazing to me to hear the magnitude of dreams and visions that people plant in the world through this community. One of the very smallest goals that we could have. What you just said is a big goal, but it's a small goal. We are a community. And if we are a community, then it's not a question, it's not a theory, it's not a premise, and it's not a debate. We are going to feed all of our children. We are going to feed all of our families. We are going to make sure that our neighbors, our relatives, our community members have access to food. That job has only gotten harder in the last several years. And we're fortunate, because I tell folks all the time that the only thing I don't like about my job is when I moved into the office, I never could find the magic wand. That in order to get good things done for our community, we have to have good partners. And Keystone has been a partner to this city for almost 100 years. Since 1939, Keystone has been there for, and not really for City Hall, not really for the mayor, but for St. Paul families, for St. Paul children, families, St. Paul communities. Just last year alone, Keystone served over 45,000 people. And that's important, that's strong, that's significant, but let me tell you, it's not enough, because the need just continues to grow. Last year we saw 3 million Minnesotans statewide. Or I think 2 years ago we saw 3 million Minnesotans statewide access food help. Last year that number jumped to 5 million. So we're seeing astronomical growth in families that find themselves food insecure. Now we have to know. I remind myself every day, I don't think very well when I'm hungry. I'm not very productive when I'm hungry. I'm not in a very good mood when I'm hungry. So when we connect food insecurity as a hurdle and a barrier to all of our ambitions, all of our goals, for all of our children and all of our families, it is literally step one of what we have to do as a community. So I'm proud to know we'll hear from some of our state legislators who have been critical in getting this moved across the board. Representative Finke, thank you for being one of our authors in the House, as well as Senator Murphy being our author in the Senate. But the investment that you've made in this space, and Senator Pappas, you've just been such a great friend to St. Paul in every aspect. We appreciate your service to our whole state, and we appreciate your service to our city. And you'll, of course, hear from our council member and our Commissioner Moran as we move forward through the day. But we're going to be able to see this organization double down its footprint. We're going to be able to see this organization double down its impact on our community. Most importantly, we're going to see this organization double your service, I understand, from 2 million meals a year to 4 million meals a year. I'm sorry, I just said this organization is going to serve 4 million meals a year. I wasn't sure if the microphone was on. And you're going to do it from an amazing space, because between NCH, Formula, and Flannery, there's nobody better that you can get to build us an amazing space to connect people to food and opportunity. So thank you all for being a part of this work. Thank you for your support for Keystone. Let's keep on moving it forward. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. As Melvin, or Mayor Melvin Carter, excuse me, he said in his speech, was that we have been here since 1939, and the city of St. Paul has been one of our biggest supporters. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you for being here in representation. Now join me to one of our biggest champions of the state legislature, Senator Sandy Pappas. Woo!
Thank you so much, Shadira, and it's really a very, very exciting day for me. I did have to say it should have been last year, but it's all right, we're here today. You know, we managed to get this across the finish line in the last day of session in May, and it's just such an important day, and I'm so happy to see you all here. Across the state, as been mentioned, more Minnesotans are experiencing food insecurity. That certainly got worse during COVID, but it's not gotten any better. Last year, Minnesotans made over 5 million visits to food shelves, which is 2 million more than the visits the year before. So as I said, it's really increasing. Black, Hispanic, and Indigenous Minnesotans are twice as likely to experience food insecurity as white Minnesotans. 50% of participants struggle with transportation. We're on the light rail. 42% are disabled or caring for a disabled family member, and 30% have chronic heart issues. Ramsey County, Commissioner knows this, has more residents, over 74,000, living in poverty, 16% of the total population in Ramsey County, more than any other county in the metropolitan area. Nearly 6,000 older adults in Ramsey County have incomes at or below the federal poverty line, and another 8,000 seniors have annual incomes that are considered low income. As food prices rise, access to healthy food becomes more difficult, as well as other barriers such as what I mentioned, transportation, make it hard for seniors to get the food they need to stay healthy, thus the mobile food truck, right? So, just a few facts about Keystone. Keystone is the largest food shelf provider in the East Metro, as Adira said, supporting over 32,000 people with food each year. Keystone's current basic needs program supports a low-income population with 77% of participants identifying with the community of color from a wide array of ethnic communities. 27 different languages were represented last year. Keystone has been on the front line throughout the pandemic, providing vital food resources for our community. They expanded services to support more people with more food, despite having limited facilities to store and provide food. Why we're here with an expanded facility. Food needs this year have skyrocketed. The total number of visits increased by 80% from December 2021 to December 2022, continue to rise in 2023. The number of new food shelf participants nearly tripled in 2022 compared to 2021 and continues to go up month after month in 2023. At the new community center, food center, Keystone will be able to double the amount of food, 2 million pounds to 4 million pounds per year, that they can provide for our community each year. This new community food center will function like a community center on University Avenue, with more room to offer community programming, as well as a much larger food market area and a large warehouse area to store food and other donated household items, which I didn't know about, the donated household items. A garage on site will house 2 food mobiles so they don't get their catalytic converter stolen, and will give capacity to expand mobile food distribution services throughout Ramsey County to those seniors, those disabled people who have mobility issues. And the new site will also revitalize a section of University Avenue near the Fairview Light Rail Station. So it's a win-win situation for all of us. more food for our people in a kind of a market-friendly environment, so you're not just handed a box full of food or a bag full of food, but you can go in and pick what fits your family size, what fits your culture, just a much more normalized experience like other people who don't have food insecurity issues have when they go to the regular supermarket. So I'm really pleased about that. Are you still going to be keeping bicycles on site? I remember that as being one of the issues too, kind of a little bicycle repair shop, store in the basement,
Yes.
right? Yep, and the garage is going to be amazing. So, for those of you who can stick around and tour the inside of the building, I've been there several times. I was there when there was still furniture in there. But it'll be fun to see it now and then see it when it's transformed, and I'm sure someone's going to talk about the timeline, but let's get it done. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pepys. Thank you very much for all your advocacy and your support. Now, please join me in welcoming our St. Paul City Council member, Mitra Jalali.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited to be here and see this project come to fruition. I'm Councilwoman Mitra Jalali. If I've not yet met you, I use she, her pronouns, and just Mitra is just fine. And this is my neighborhood, so welcome to my neighborhood. I'm so excited to welcome Keystone and their new home. And I just see this as an example, a shining example of public investment for public good. And you've heard a lot about Keystone, you've heard a lot about the services, and I want to just talk a little bit about the community, right? Because I represent this neighborhood, I have since 2018. I have led our community and served our community through really remarkable and incredibly challenging times. And I want to speak a little bit, if you'll allow me to, about maybe some of the more tender, more painful memories of being in this neighborhood through 2020, through civil unrest, and through anguish and hurt that rocked our neighborhoods after the unjust murder of George Floyd by the Minneapolis police in the thick of a pandemic, and just in a time that felt like such a low in this very neighborhood and in this place we're standing. And what was also on full display in that time was our community's values, the outpouring of support for local businesses right down this corridor that we're going to be standing in, and where people will now be able to come and experience like care and resources. The amount of food insecurity that was exposed, and the churches and the businesses and the district council and the community groups that pulled together and said, we're going to make sure that in this time of severe interruption in so many ways that people are not going to worry about where they're going to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, because there's plenty of other things they need to worry about right now. And we saw people just outpouring and organizing to make sure that each other was cared for. To me, that's the values of this neighborhood. That's the values of this community. That's the values of this city. And as our beautiful, wonderful, brilliant, fearless delegation and state reps showed us this last session, that's the values of our state, right? That is what we do in Minnesota. We take care of each other. And I'm so proud to represent this neighborhood and to represent this resource. So proud that our city is supporting this project in all the ways that we can. And I can't wait to see this space transform into something that's going to be so beneficial, so accessible, and allows people to experience care with dignity, right? And we've heard that point a lot, and it was just being so beautifully made. But what we want is not to create a dynamic where I'm helping you and you're the helpee. It's actually, we all experience that same pang in our stomach, and we're here to make sure that everyone is cared for. So please join me in just honoring and celebrating this institution today in what I see as a bright new future for the Midway, and part of this continued story we're writing together in St. Paul. Thank you so much, and so happy to be here.
Thank you, Councilmember Jalali. The entire St. Paul City Council and so many staff throughout the city of St. Paul have been incredible partners. They have been advocates, and we are so grateful for all of you. Now, please join me in welcoming Representative Lee Finke, who has been the chief author of our bill in the Minnesota House of Representatives. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. If we've never met, my name is Lee Finke. My pronouns are she, her. I am the state representative for District 66A, which covers, Roseville, parts of Roseville, Falcon Heights, Lauderdale, and St. Paul. Like Councilmember Jalali, I am a longtime resident of the Midway neighborhood. This is my community. I am very grateful for the opportunity not just to be a representative and to represent all of our residents and community, but especially this community of Midway. It's very meaningful to me to be here and to be standing among all of you doing this unbelievably important work for our city and our state and our county. So I'm excited to be here today and talk about also the important work of Keystone. And all the work that they are doing toward ending hunger in our communities. You heard some of the facts already about food insecurity. 1 in 8 Americans is living with food insecurity. That number is much higher for children. We know how dramatic this problem is. We have seen it exposed, as Councilmember Jalali said, throughout these past few years. I was honored to carry this legislation in the House to support this new groundbreaking center, and I think as I was sitting here, it occurred to me that this is the first bill that I passed. This is the first thing that I will have passed at the legislature. That bill represented a $2.6 million investment from the state in the work of Keystone. And what we're really doing is ensuring that our state is understanding the needs of our local communities. This is a top-down thing. I'm very honored to be here as a state representative with the senator, with the council member, with the Ramsey Council, and with the mayor, because that's the way that this work has to function. It has to function up and down every way, not hierarchically, but all of us working together, understanding that these problems can't be solved just by government, just by a community, but everybody needs to be committed if we are going to really truly serve our community in a meaningful way. This state investment will also ensure that Keystone can continue to offer a variety of services to help people who are struggling to make ends meet. Their programs include financial assistance, employment training, housing assistance, and child care assistance, and in addition to serving food for 50,000 members of our county. So I just want to thank Keystone for your important work. I'm very honored to play my small part in coalition with all of the amazing people here today. And I look forward to continuing to do this into the future. And I'm very excited about doing my first ever shovel picture. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative Finke. We appreciate you carrying our bill, and again, thank you for your support. We really appreciate that. Now, please help me welcome Ramsey County Commissioner Rena Moran to the podium.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rena Moran. I'm Ramsey County Commissioner, District 4. And as I was just sitting here, just listening to this delegation of folks, I just thought to myself, St. Paul and Ramsey County has been taken care of, right? We have an awesome delegation here who is really dedicating to fighting for justice and fighting for those, the least of these, including those who are hungry. And so as I was sitting here just resonating about this moment that we're all here to celebrate it, it reminded me that, as I sit here 6 months in as a new Ramsey County Commissioner, I reflected back at the last 3 years in the pandemic and the needs, people losing their jobs, staying home, young folks who were sometimes the breadwinners in their family, who was taking care of their parents and their children, who all of a sudden did not have an income. And the need to make sure that our children and our families were being fed was critically important. And I want to just thank Representative Finke, because I was that person carrying that bill for Keystone, right? As they came to the legislature saying, not only are we doing this work, not only have we been doing this work, but now we want to expand the work that we're doing, and we want to do it in a really comprehensive type of way. We don't just want to feed those the individuals who are coming to us to be served, but we also want to make sure that we are providing services for them. We want to wrap services around these individuals and their families and give them a little bit more hope and an opportunity to be just a little bit more self-sufficient, but know that here in St. Paul, here in the state of Minnesota, we take care of each other. We feed each other. We cannot do what we do alone. And so we're coming to ask to expand this work that we are doing. You heard the statistics, you heard the great work of Keystone. I don't need to repeat it, but I do want to tell you a story that when I was a legislator during the pandemic, a group came to me and said that, culturally Pacific food is not available. We need help. We need help doing this, and we don't know where to go because it's not working. And I remember making a phone call and saying, we need help. Mary, Keystone, they showed up. They showed up and they provided right here in St. Paul the culturally Pacific food that was needed for that community. And so that is their work, that is their legacy. Now we're going to watch them expand the services that they provide. And I'm excited as a Ramsey County Commissioner who is on the ground to get to see the work that happened, the money that comes down to the state to see how to better serve, right? And do that here in Ramsey County. So I just want to say, again, happy retirement, Mary. I hope you're really retiring. Congratulations, Adiro, in your new role as president and CEO. And to all our elected officials who work so hard to really create these great opportunities for all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Moran. We are so grateful for the leadership and the staff of everyone throughout through Ramsey County. Now I'd like to welcome our final guest. I'd like to welcome Keystone's Board of Directors. He's our board chair, Steve Thiel.
Thank you, Daryl, and I'm your last speaker, and then you can get out of this heat. So it is such an honor to have all of you here to celebrate this special occasion with us, so thank you. So on behalf of the Keystone's Board of Directors and the entire Keystone community, I do want to thank you for your incredible support of our Opening Doors to Food Security campaign. Throughout our organization's 84-year history, Keystone has been providing services that support individuals and families, giving them the resources they need to thrive. Now you've heard it, but food is universal, and having access to quality, healthy food is a basic human right. However, one of the things that we've noticed is that the face of hunger has changed. And being one of the most consistent leaders on hunger relief efforts in Ramsey County, our response needs to change too. And this community food center is that change. So as a member of the board, I've heard the ongoing call for action from our community members and our community leaders. Everyone is eager for an innovative approach to this persistent and now expanding need for food resources. So a mere 3 years ago, in 2020, we embarked on a transformation of this corner of University Avenue with purpose and thoughtfulness and how best to serve the needs of our participants, our volunteers, and our neighbors. This new space will reflect our history of providing the high quality and effective programming that people have come to expect from Keystone, but it says so much about our vision for the future. So for example, we'll have a 3-bay garage, which will allow us to expand and protect our foodmobile fleet and give us the opportunity to enhance neighborhood-based community food distribution and home delivery of food resources to seniors, a participant group that is fast growing. The warehouse space, it's going to increase our capacity and more importantly, our flexibility to capture and distribute food resources. And the added refrigeration and freezer space, loading dock, and more square footage, it's all going to increase the volume of food, especially culturally specific food and household items that we can receive and distribute. And lastly, new volunteer space is going to expand our capacity to engage our community for our work. All in all, it's going to be an impact statement as well. So this has been a day of thank yous, and I will throw a couple out there as well. I want to thank you all for your project, to all the project partners who have worked alongside our board and our staff every step of this campaign process. Your guidance, advice, and commitment to our community is inspiring. I want to thank our Keystone staff who have worked tirelessly on their own jobs and assignments while at the same time devoting the energy needed to make the Opening Doors campaign truly successful. And thank you especially to Mary McEwen, our fearless leader for this charge, and of course to Adaro, who will take on this vital work as we move forward. And a special thank you to the funders and the donors who said yes to caring about our neighbors, about our neighborhood, and about helping people in the community to live with dignity and hope. This new community center is uniquely positioned in the heart of the Midway neighborhood. This new center is a visual reflection of our community coming together. Thank you for sharing in our vision. Thank you for making the center possible. We will be a catalyst for change. Thank you all very much. Now we are going to invite our guest speakers over to the ceremonial shovels there. Lee, I know you're looking forward to it. Everyone else, if you're interested in doing a hard hat tour, we will take small groups through the food center. So stick around the tent here after the pictures. We'll give you hard hats and we'll take you through the center. So thanks again for coming. Appreciate it.